I've been trading for almost 3 years now. I started the day that I turned 18. I bought a Top Step account and I've been trading practically every day since then. I've got absolutely nothing to sell you. I don't have any courses. I don't have a private Discord. I don't have any affiliate codes. I'm literally just making this video to try and show the reality of trading for an average person. So, hopefully to the 3 people that watch this video, I'll be able to provide you with some good information. First thing I want to do is just flash some payouts on screen because I do have like 5 subscribers. Here's some proof that I know what I'm talking about. I'm also going to try and just do this whole video in one take. So if I mess up some stuff that I'm saying, give me a little leeway. And there's also not going to be really much going on the screen. So feel free to just listen to this while you're doing something else. The way I'm going to talk about this is I'm going to go through like what a new person does when they're getting into trading and hopefully aid you in that process and be able to talk about what to do at different steps. So the first thing you do, and that I did, is you look up how to trade. You go to YouTube and you Google how to trade, and there is thousands and thousands and thousands of videos and people that are trying to teach you. So out of all of these videos, how are you supposed to discern what is good information and what is bad information? And pretty easy way to do it is just to find someone that you think is worth learning from and then pop their name plus exposed or fraud into Google and just look it up. And if there's anything to do with them faking stuff, faking payouts, using a demo account and pretending it's a funded account, don't bother with them. Just pick someone else because there is so many people, like I said, thousands and thousands of people making really good quality videos. You don't need to settle for someone who is dodgy. Don't think just because their strategy seems to work that they're worth watching, because most likely they're not. You should find people who actually are credible. And over my 3 years of trading, I've found a few people, and I'm going to put a few in the description for you. Very different styles of trading through all these people, but to my knowledge, they are fully transparent and they actually know how to trade, unlike the majority of influencers who are making most of their money from affiliate codes and courses and may have never been good at trading, or at least probably aren't trading right now because they're making so much money in other ways anyway. Something else I want to talk about, this kind of leads into my next thing, is how long does it actually take to become profitable is the buzzword that these influencers use. Now, you're not going to really hear this from many people because, of course, if you're selling a course or selling a strategy, you don't want to tell people that it's going to take a long time to get good at trading, because you want to tell them, hey, if you buy my course, you'll be able to trade. But that's not the case. I could right now give you a winning strategy that has a positive expected value. And if you've only been trading for a year or 6 months, you're not going to make money with it because you don't have the ability to do that yet. And that ability comes from discretion and being able to handle your emotions, which is, could be tied to the same thing, just discretion, or intuition, or like game sense. The best way I can describe it is how if you play Valorant or Siege or CSGO and you're in a 1v1 and you just know where to look, right? You might not have seen anything or heard anything, but you just know to look at this doorway because that's where they normally come from. It's a similar thing in trading. If you've been trading a strategy for long enough, you will build up some sort of discretion, probably unconsciously, and you'll be able to slowly make better decisions in the market. That's why you can see people who trade with seemingly no strategy. They're trading price action normally, is what they call it. It's just trading discretion. They literally can look at the chart and unconsciously most of the time be able to pick a direction in the market. And it's hard to sort of teach that because it can be hard to put that into words. It's like if you were trying to teach someone game sense, you're just going to say, well, I've been playing for a long time. Yes, there could be cues on exactly why they got into a position. Maybe there's higher lows or lower highs, or there's an uptrend and then there was a breakout and then there was a liquidation, and there could be a lot of stuff. But most of the time people operate pretty much unconsciously with this discretion, and it's something that you build over time. So it takes years to build that up. And that segues into my next talking point, which is strategy. And what strategy should you use? Because if it really comes down to this discretion, does it matter what strategy you use? No, it doesn't. It does not matter at all. You can use any strategy They all will not work until you have built up enough of this discretion, as well as being able to handle your emotions. Emotions are at least 90% of trading. Again, if I was to give you a winning strategy that you just had to follow, you probably wouldn't be able to because of your emotions. What if you take a loss? What if you miss an entry by one tick and you go, oh, I'm just going to quickly win that back? Or, you get into a position and you're about to hit take profit, and then news comes out and it wicks all the way down to your stop loss. It's going to mess with you. It's going to mess with your head. It messes with everyone. And that's a massive part of trading. When you are already in a position to win, you now have to be in a position where you can control your emotions. And that, again, just takes time. That takes losses and wins over a long period of time until eventually you can handle that stuff. So, what this means is that it doesn't matter what strategy you're using, and just pick one. My advice would be to pick one that makes sense to you and then stick with it. And if a time comes where it no longer makes sense, or it becomes boring, or you think that there's something else is better, then by all means switch. But the idea that the strategy is what makes you money is wrong. That just isn't true. It's not the strategy. You see people making money with support and resistance, or with supply and demand zones, or with EMAs, or with VWAP, or with order flow, or with ICT, or with volume analysis, or with like volume profile type trading, or just with price action. There's a million ways you can trade, and there are people who lose money trading those ways, and there's people who make money trading those ways. And it comes down to you at the end of the day. It's not the strategy. So yeah, pick one that makes sense to you. I'm not even going to bother going into what I trade because, like I said, it doesn't matter. If enough people happen to watch this and want to know, maybe I can make a video on that, or just ask me in the comments. I get no comments, so if you comment something, I can respond to you. Ask me anything you want. I can give you a response, but it doesn't matter. The strategy does not matter. Pick something that makes sense and that you're happy to trade, and try and just stick with that, and try and take good trades within that strategy. And over probably a couple years, you will start being able to make consistent money. And that's the sort of time frame that I see from my experience and from other people that I've talked to and that I know make money. It seems to take about 2 years until you can consistently make money. Of course, some people are going to be able to do this quicker. In about a year, some people it's going to take longer. But I'd say on average, after you've been trading, almost daily for 2 years, you could expect to start making consistent profits. Now, I'm not talking about just getting a payout, because that doesn't really mean anything. You can get a payout in your first week of trading. If you spend $5,000 on evals, right, you're going to get a payout. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about consistently making more than you spend. So if you spend $1,000 a month on evaluation accounts, making back 3,000, right? That would be a profitable month. And if you're able to do that for maybe a year in a row, you could then call yourself profitable. And that's one of those buzzwords that influencers use, like profitable. They also will call strategies models, and try and stay away from that sort of stuff. But being profitable is pretty arbitrary term, because some people will claim they're profitable after they pass an evaluation. Some people will claim they're profitable after they get a payout, or after their total payouts exceed their total spend. For me, it's really when you're able to consistently make money for months and months and months and months and months consistently. That's when I would call somebody profitable. And that takes a long time to do. If you're just talking about how long does it take to get a payout, that can happen quite quickly, depending on how much you're spending. That really just comes down to how much you've traded, because eventually you're going to get lucky enough with an account to just get a payout. And this lets me talk about my next topic, which is how much do you need to spend to get into trading, or to stay trading and be profitable at trading. And luckily, in today's time with prop firms, the answer is not much. If you are brand new to trading, or I guess what I call brand new is like 6 months to a year of trading, I would really recommend you go with the Lucid 25K account. Again, I'm not affiliated with anything, so I'm not doing this because I want you to trade with them. Again, there's people who will promote firms that are just not good firms and don't have good accounts, but they do it because they have affiliate codes, obviously. The only reason I'm telling you that this account is good is because it is the easiest account to pass, and I'm pretty sure you can get it for like $50 right now. I'll put up a screenshot on the screen. I'm sure I'll be doing that now if I remember. It's very cheap and it's very easy to pass. And if it costs you $50, it has $1,000 loss limit. Let's just say you trade, you allow yourself to lose $100 a day. That's 10 days if you lose every single day of trading. And then, a trading month is 20 days of trading. So if you were to lose every single day for the whole month and you buy a new account as soon as you blow one, that's only 2 accounts a month. That's only $100 a month. You did that for a year. That's only $1.2 thousand for the whole year, which is so cheap. And that means that for every day you are able to trade with an account which you could make money from, and you're able to build your discretion and practice your strategy, which is an insanely cheap amount, right? So, and that's really maximum, because sometimes you might have the account for longer. You might not lose it instantly. That's what I would be doing. Of course, that's that's not what I did, and it's easier to say than do, but that's what I would be doing, and that's what I'd recommend. And that's going to cost you only $100 a month, which hopefully is not that much if you are getting into trading. You should definitely have $100 a month you're willing to lose. And yeah, that's what I would be doing. And the reason I recommend this over trading a paper account or a demo account is because, like I said before, trading is easily 90% your emotions. And with a paper account, you don't get that. You're not getting that emotional side of things. So with this account, which only costs $50, you get access to all of that because it is a real account. You have made a real investment and you have the ability to draw real money out of this once you pass it. And then a trading the funded account, you're getting all the emotions and it's only costing you $50. There's no reason to only trade a paper account and miss out on 90% of trading when you could be getting all that for just $50. So that's what I would be doing. The 25K account on Lucid, I would be limiting yourself because it is a small account. You need to be trading small, not like how you see these influencers trade where they're full porting an account to make $2,000 a day. Certainly don't be doing that. Of course, it's going to come down to how your strategy works, but I would be risking a couple $100 a day, and that gives you the ability to trade it for a long time, and when it blows, you can buy another one, and it's still going to keep your costs very low, which I think is the best way to do it. And for the next thing I want to talk about is once you are getting payouts and you have the ability to now sort of reinvest and get more accounts, what's the best way to go about that? And I want to talk about this because I've made some big mistakes with this. With just spending too much on accounts too quickly and churning accounts or burning accounts, which you hear people talk about. And look at this, I'm about to die to these zombies. This is my hardcore world. I don't know how I let that happen. I need to be more careful with stuff like that. Anyway, yeah, burning through accounts. So let's say that you take a couple payouts. You've been using these 25K accounts, or maybe let's just for this analogy, or this, what am I trying to say? Oh my God, the word is gone. This example, you have a 25K account, you've been burning through those, but only a couple a month. You eventually get a payout. Maybe you buy some 50K's accounts, then you get a bigger payout. And let's say you've got like $3,000 of payouts. And you think now you want to start scaling up. You want to get more accounts so you can copy trade and you can get more payouts. And of course, this is the way that you think it should go, and the way you should do things, because it makes sense. You can sort of make it exponential with how much you're spending to make more money. You can just reinvest what you've earned. But you can run into issues doing this. And I've seen almost everyone run into issues with this, including me, with the idea that you sort of get a $2,000 payout and you think, okay, well, if I spend that $2,000, I only need to get one more payout to break even. If I get two, I've made money. If I get three, even better. And you sort of start seeing it like a return on investment game. And I don't think that's the best way to do it. And I've strayed away from doing it like that now, because not only is it extremely stressful, and you'll find that out if you take a payout and you decide you're going to spend that payout, all of that payout, to get the next one. Not only is that extremely stressful, but you're going to end up losing way more money than you need to, than if you took a payout and just went, I'm going to buy one account and I'm going to trade it slowly and I'm going to work towards my another payout like that, instead of spending a bunch and just burning through, full porting accounts over and over and over and trying to get to your next one like that. It just isn't the way to do it. And you'll develop a strategy, I'm sure, yourself on how you want to do that. If maybe you do full port for the first payout of the account and then you take it slow after that. you can decide, but be very careful with scaling up and how quickly you try to. There's nothing wrong with making $2,000 a month on one account and that just being your month, and that being your month for a few months. That is still really good. You're still beating 99% of people, I'm sure, 99% of prop traders for sure, aren't able to do something like that. So even if you can just keep it really small and just go, I'm going to have one funded account, I'm going to have one evaluation account, and if I happen to pass that one, I'm just going to copy trade two accounts. Take it slow, um, is my advice. And you'll find out you'll find out yourself, and that's the best way to do this stuff, right? Make the mistake yourself, try and scale up quickly, and you'll find out what happens. That's what I did, and you'll have to cut it back anyway. But don't be too stressed about when you find out you have a strategy that works and you find out you can win. Don't push too hard to win a lot really quickly, because it's not how it works. It's not how any strategy works, and it's just not a good way to trade by any means. So that about wraps up this video. I know I didn't say anything too crazy, but just kind of wanted to I don't know, this is what I've been able to make money, and for this year, from the start of this year, I've been making money consistently month after month after month, and I wanted to give my advice because, if I'm winning, hopefully this can help you, and it's probably better than most of the influencer advice that you hear. And I know, like I said, I haven't said anything too crazy, but the idea that you shouldn't be too stressed about your strategy is a big thing. Don't worry about that. Worry about just taking good trades and learning how to trade. Don't think that just because you've traded your strategy for a week or a month and you haven't made money, you need to go find a new one. You don't need to. You can if you want, but you don't need to. And hopefully, stay away from influencers. Again, this is another thing. Once you know how to trade, I try, like I have done, cut down my trading content consumption by a lot. I used to watch trading videos like every day. I would watch live streams. I would watch people analyzing the market. I'd do that stuff. Now, I don't really do any of that, especially not in the week, because I don't want it to influence my trading. I'm really conscious of that. I don't want to watch a video of someone saying, I think the market's going to go up tomorrow, and then I trade the next day. Even if consciously I'm not going to long because they said it, but what if I get long and I lose, and I think back and go, oh, did I get long because I heard them say that, even if it was unconscious? Or if I get short and I lose, then I'm going to be thinking, damn, I should have listened to that. It's just not a good way to do it. I think once you've learned your strategy, or you understand a strategy, just work on your own. You're not going to really get anything from these people who most of the time, like I said, probably can't even trade themselves. It's not worth it. But yeah, that's it. That's where I'll end this video. Hopefully, if someone is still watching this, you've found something useful. If not, leave me a comment, ask me anything you want. If you do want a video on my strategy, I'm happy to make one. I just feel like an idiot influencer doing that, because it doesn't matter what my strategy is. It doesn't matter what your strategy is. But yeah, and also links in the description to other content that I think is worth watching. Like I said, I'll put the YouTube channels down there of people who you can trust, or at least I trust, that trade and are worth learning from or following. But yeah, apart from that, good luck with everything. Don't make any stupid trades today. And yeah, that's it. See you guys.